by far the longest track we've ever put in a Trials
Welcome
game.
to the
Giga Track will
Ubisoft
take you
Forward
across
2020
many different environments from the
that they're
iconic
doing instead of E3. It's as close to E3 as we'll get. Unfortunately, this means Ubisoft will not be on a physical stage, which is sad because Ubisoft does the best
it's like life. It starts and
presentations every E3.
Depends how
This
you
is the crazy guy that crashed on stage that last year. Who like came on and did the big like stunt basically.
Oh my god.
Destroyed the podium.
Prepare for the ultimate test of Trials and
It looks like they've been doing a
Giga Track
pre-show for a
releases
while
this Thursday,
and just
July
showing
16th
what?
for the
What have they been doing in the
price.
pre-show?
You heard that right, riders. Giga Track will be available for free to all Trials Rising players when it releases this Thursday.
Gameplay. Just Dance was presented.
You heard that right, the Giga Track is coming to the game and it will be the longest, most insane track in Trials history and it will be free for all Trials Rising
Just
players.
Dance was presented. Oh,
now
so
for our
it
last game
seems like they
update,
got
the Ghost Recon Breakpoint team
1 hour
is ready to
little
share some
games.
details on their upcoming update. AI teammates are coming to the game. Let's have a look at the
updates on
trailer.
current games.
The time has come. AI teammates are back and
go like that. The thing with Ubisoft is interesting because like they end up every year usually being the thing that next to EA, the company that I care the least about in terms of its releases. Like more often than not, like Assassin's Creed is another Assassin's Creed, and they have a lot to say about their shooty shoots, whatever they have. Again, Tom Clancy's like 17 Tom Clancy games a year. And we got Trials, but it's been so long since we've seen something fresh from Ubisoft.
They did Rabbids and Mario.
That was like 3 years ago, which was cool.
Yeah.
But despite all that, it's always fun to watch Ubisoft because you never know what they're going to do on stage. They always put on a really good show. And they do some fun surprise things. They have special guests. They had Miyamoto once. They had fucking Trey Parker out there.
They had Matt Stone.
Yeah, Gordon Lovitz. They had...
Beyond Good and Evil.
Didn't they also get Frodo?
Yeah.
They got the
Elijah
two of them.
Wood.
Who were basically the same person.
Yeah, totally. Why not just get one of them?
So we always look forward to it. Because Leon puts on a great show if you're watching Leon. We know you every so often check in on us. Leon Winkler runs the show down there and sent us a housewarming gift when we came to Japan.
Yeah, it was so sweet.
I think he's based in Canada too. On the Canada side. Anyways, we always love the show they put on, despite, like, you know, I love Ubisoft as a company, the whole family look and feel. It's really sad what they're going through right now.
Yeah.
Lots of heads rolled, it seems, in the last few days.
Yes.
Probably deservingly so.
Yeah.
Including in HR, I think the head of HR, which says a lot about, like, whose fault it was in the end. Like, it sounds like reports got swept under the rug.
The head of the Toronto office or whatever got fired or stepped down or whatever, and Yves Guillemot is
stepping in,
going to Toronto, and
he'll be the interim leader.
Yeah.
So we have a Turbo in there who's actually in Ubisoft. That's going to be nerve-wracking. The big boss is coming in to run the show.
Yeah.
The fucking...
But that's the Montreal office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The maniacal...
Yves Guillemot.
Yves Guillemot. But it seems like, you know, from what it sounds like, Yves didn't know shit. Because that, like, I mean, the writing, like, it tells you everything that HR head went down. Like,
yeah.
He was kept in the dark, it sounds like. So, which is good to hear, because I like Yves. But it sounds like he had no part in it and no knowledge of it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, the buck always stops with the guy at the top, but what can you say about it if he was kept in the dark? Completely by his employees. Like, there's only so much he can do.
Ubisoft in the past has also been really good with coming forward in their presentations and talking about the issues that they've had. But this is so fresh that...
They didn't decide to...
Yeah, I think they won't say anything in the forward. They did put out a tweet probably about 3 hours ago now.
Yeah, they decided not to put it in there. We've gotten a lot of really big and heartfelt updates. Won't say much here, but yes, I feel heard, safe, and protected. It sounds like isolated incidents with a few really piece of shit people.
Yeah.
But, yeah, well, what can be said about it until the dust settles?
What are you guys looking forward to seeing?
So, Ubisoft. We're gonna
Assassin's Creed.
see Assassin's Creed. We're gonna see
Splinter Cell? South Park?
Well, it's time for an update on Watchdogs. A Watchdogs that I'm actually, once again, it's always with Ubisoft. It's fool me once, fool me twice. Okay, fool me again. Go ahead. I don't care. I love you guys. But, like, everything, like, I don't think I'm going to end up liking Watchdogs when it comes out. I didn't like the last two, and this one I probably won't either. But I'm super interested, and I love the advertising method. And the concept behind it. Far Cry could happen, of course. They have Far Cry.
People want to know if Beyond Good and Evil is coming along nicely.
Beyond Good and Evil is their big, long-term project that we're waiting on to see an update on. Last time we saw it, I think we saw like what could have been a semblance of a tiny bit of morsel of maybe gameplay, but like... It was hard to tell, because the first time they ever showed it, it was a CG, like, teaser.
Yeah.
Then the second time they showed stuff, it was like they were really pumping up the idea of community assets somehow contributing to the game. And I don't feel like we ever saw real gameplay.
Right, I totally can't remember. Someone else wants Valhalla?
Valhalla? What? What? I don't get it. Valhalla, like, isn't that, like, the last Assassin's Creed was Norse? Is that what you're talking about? Like, that's already a thing.
It's Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
Isn't it already out? Oh, it's not out yet, I guess. So you want to see more stuff from it. You want to see more, like, info.
Okay.
Right.
A new Rabbids Nintendo collab?
That'd be alright. Those are solid games. I hope that they're light on the Tom Clancy stuff. I mean, I hope that they realize that they've made their sale when it comes to Tom Clancy. Like, those people aren't going anywhere. And I doubt you might, bring in new players every so often with a presentation like this, but, like, keep it short.
Yeah.
Try to hook the people who aren't currently invested in Tom Clancy, then move on. Don't go into nitty-gritty detail. Like, I feel like sometimes it's just spent a little bit too much time on gameplay and stuff with Tom Clancy. They've also got The Division, which is also kind of Tom Clancy. And I'd rather not see that. Like, we know what it is. It's shooty shoots. It's team fun. Gotta love the voice acting. I mean the scripted team actors.
Yeah.
Which is always the most ridiculous in the world. Like,
you play Just Crash because they're giving away Watch Dogs 2.
Hey, I got him. Wow, I'm surprised with your aim. Ha ha. All right, let's go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Here we go
3,
with Ubisoft
2,
official live stream,
1.
July 2020. What are they going to kick it off with?
This is Ubisoft. This is Ubisoft Forward. Explore our worlds.
Meet the devs. See the games.
Join us.
Please show us. Eves, it's been too long.
Hi everyone, I'm Neelam Kumar, and I'm very excited to be co-hosting the first Ubisoft Forward with the talented Yusuf Mageed. Today's show is all about getting up close and in-depth with all the exciting games we have in production here at Ubisoft.
I'm Yusuf, but there's no time to waste. So let's head straight for the streets of futuristic London and see what the hackers of DedSec are getting into.
There you go. I'm Yusuf, but there's no time to waste. Fuck me, let's go.
The illegal paintings spreading subversive and hostile messaging over the last few weeks
Not
across
actual
London
gameplay.
are not the work of several people as was originally believed, but the work of an individual. The criminal suspected to have links
Did that
to
say
the
burnt cheese?
Now this Watch Dogs might be extra exciting because this could be, I mean, potentially everything you're going to see today is a PlayStation 5 launch title.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a lot more intense than Watch Dogs that I know.
Authorities recommend not to approach the individual.
First, they came for the foreigners, and I did not speak out because I was not a foreigner.
Oh.
Then they came for the protesters, and I did not speak out because I was not a protester. Then they came for the journalists, and I did not speak out because I was not a journalist.
What is, oh, journalists.
And then they came for street artists, but I did not speak out because I am not a street artist.
I'm guessing this is just the stylization of the trailer and that the game's not getting stylized, even though I wouldn't mind it if it was.
I think this is fucking cool. Did it say wham?
Yeah, it looks a little bit like they've taken on some cues from Into the Spider-Verse here.
Totally.
And I realised that eventually they'd come for me, and there would be no one left to speak for me.
Fuck.
Where are we
The
off
world
to?
is scary.
I'll show you the way. Okay, sorry, miss. Jesus! All right, so we're in a total mess now, so let's get the hell out of here.
And there's nothing more debilitating than that. This way, not to be able to do what you're passionate about.
Don't park right outside.
Long night, London is in chaos.
Dummies.
Well. Welcome to the Resistance. Here's a welcome gift for our new members.
But the disappearance of the criminal
You could have told me it was a bloody costume party.
Try it on.
So remember, the whole hook of this game is that you can play as literally anybody in the
43-year-old
game.
London taxi driver. He has no criminal record, but is currently believed to be a terrorist. People have been asked not to approach him. The authorities advise all residents.
Huh.
Anybody but presumably NPC
Clint has
bad
been a
guys.
longtime creative force here at Ubisoft, and now he's bringing this vision to Watchdogs Legion.
So yeah, what we just saw was an amazing short film by the director Alberto Mielgo that was inspired by Watchdogs Legion and looks at the game and the universe and the characters through his incredible artistic vision and visual style.
The city needs a resistance.
I liked it.
Like the film, Watchdogs Legion tells the story of ordinary heroes setting aside their differences in order to come together as a collective and to fight for a positive change. You can literally recruit and play anyone who you see in the open world. You profile people
In the
that are
open
interesting
world.
to you. You help them with their problem. You play their origin mission.
Just help me get some closure and I'll do whatever you want.
Sounds like a DedSec problem. Leave it to us.
And that's how you recruit them into your team. And then they become the heroes of the game and the stars of your story.
And what are you doing in my flat? You with Albion?
Please, think more underground.
You with Albion?
I'm tickled, but think more underground.
What, DedSec? Yeah, right,
So the
I'm Che Guevara. You
big
done?
question is, how
And they
many
make the story
archetypes do you
not
have?
only unique to them, but unique to you as the player.
How many
and
voices?
personal to you because they're heroes that you've chosen.
Anybody in the open world, but really,
What would I say to fans? I guess I'd say
how many are there?
Take care of yourselves, stay safe. Welcome to the Resistance.
A lot, says DK.
Our London town, a modern metropolis, built on history and prosperity.
I wonder if it actually looks
Only
like
took
London.
12,000 years to build it up, and one night to tear it all down.
Oh my god. Listen up. Get all your units to move in and lock down the city.
With London under
pretty
attack
accurate.
by a mysterious terrorist, the government turns to a private military company called Albion to keep everyone safe. What could possibly go wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nigel Cass, CEO of Albion. He's kindly stepped up to establish order.
Understand this. I will not allow anyone, not even myself, to jeopardize this.
He will stop at nothing to permanently
So I wonder if I can
control the city.
recruit the bag,
will be the first city in the world
police
to be made
and
truly
stuff.
safe.
And
Nigel's not the only opportunist who's taken a liking to this.
what if they're
fair
walking
city.
around in the open world?
I was gonna say, unless
Mary
you
Kelly,
see them in the
head of
open
the most
world.
powerful crime
Oh,
syndicate
they gotta
in
be,
London.
right? They're patrolling the streets. They're police.
She and her goons are using the dark web to sell everything from party pills to people.
Wow.
Microchip is
People were able to find their
I've got to keep tracks on my
apartments in the
merchandise,
Maps last year
haven't
at
I?
Gamescom.
You made me a slave.
You do not want to ruffle her feathers. With the city out on its arse, it now falls on you to build a resistance and take back London.
All right, everyone. Faces on, guns out.
Any of the brave Londoners you see walking the streets can be recruited into your team.
He's just a pleb cop. I want one of those special ones.
Her. Or even her. Everyone could become your
They're
next
really pushing
secret
the
weapon.
grandma angle.
Yeah, man.
In our first mission, we need to get some dirt on Nigel Cass, and that means breaking into Albion
you recruit the
headquarters
Queen?
inside the Tower of London. All the hardy souls you see here are people we have recruited from the streets of London. They all have unique abilities, and you're free to tackle this mission with whoever you like.
Dear God, my eyes. Badly. Zip up, get to work, and let's never talk about this again.
I hope they have
Everyone in DedSec,
differently
Arthur
abled
can hack
people to recruit.
pretty much
Like
whatever.
somebody in a
But as a
wheelchair.
construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him
Like a badass
handy.
wheelchair.
Yeah.
That's
He
fine.
can even call his own cargo drone.
How do you
Perfect
not
for
fall
gate
off of
crashing
that? You should have a
when you're not
seatbelt on.
invited. And who needs a regular
There's a
old gun
helmet,
when you
so
have
that's
a bloody nail gun?
Come in, you soy-doy shit boy.
I prefer a regular gun.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, what is that thing?
Perhaps we could approach
Shoot
this
it.
mission differently. If you'd rather keep your distance,
You guys think the
we've got you
graphics have
covered.
improved?
Amy is
Maybe
a
they're
drone
simulating
expert,
it on the next gen at this point.
What have we here?
a real tech connoisseur.
Hate spiders, but love this one.
What an adorable creepy crawler.
Here we are. Let's class the place up.
A drone expert does have the unique ability to summon their own drone. This little darling is fast and stealthy.
She aims, she fires, she hits.
I'm reading incoming drones.
She can also hack enemy drones, turning the tide in her favor. And if you are not into direct confrontation, there are more ways than one to get the job done. Recruiting an Albion officer like Brielle here
Okay,
might
so
be
you can get
challenging. but it'll
the
get you
special
inside restricted Albion areas.
But it said it's challenging.
Don't mind me, just doing recon for a bunch of insurgents.
However, do anything suspicious and she'll probably wind up with a bullet in the back of her head.
You've been approved for entry.
I was thinking that too. Tracer, the voice actress.
We're missing the human element.
You think she's Tracer?
No.
Oh.
There was
on the
other one.
right now.
Well, if you feel you must.
Criminals running our streets, illegals threatening our families, the police commissioner himself, assassinated by terrorists.
Well, that seems to be enough evidence. Next up, we're crashing Mary Kelly's organ farming operation and putting a stop to it.
That's good. The buyers expect high quality stuff.
And we need a hard nut for this.
Impairing our frontal lobe again, are we?
Bags, don't disturb me in my natural habitat.
Say hello to Mickey. The man lives for his team.
That put another hair on my chest.
And doesn't mind getting his hands dirty.
That dude was looking pretty stiff. He didn't even fight back.
Yeah.
He does have a
I
slight
wish they had said what that's being done on.
And he's passed out. We'll come back to him. You know what? Let's go with someone a bit more professional. It's almost crass to call him a hitman.
They're trying to do a John Wick thing here.
Some might even call him an artist.
John Wick.
There's nothing about this that's really like jumping out at me as like
Here's the
intriguing
bastard responsible.
gameplay. It just feels kind of
Done and dusted.
Not bad if I do say so, innit?
Not everyone in London is a legendary assassin or a super
it's cool
spy,
that you can be creative
but
and like do
everyone
different
can be a
things.
hero.
Go about things different ways. It's kind of Ubisoft's Grand Theft Auto, but it just doesn't have the it factor I find like that Grand Theft Auto has. I don't know why.
Because who are you playing as? You're playing as always
Even
someone
if it wasn't
different,
that,
right?
just the Watchdogs series just doesn't have that edge. I would fucking take a Grand Theft Auto with the Rockstar edge in this style where
Plunging
you play
the player
everybody.
into a living, breathing city, teeming with unique locales and characters, has always been a central
Did we have a
pillar
date
of the
before?
Watchdogs series.
What was the date?
It was
what
like
goes into
October
building those
29th,
worlds?
I think.
Here's
It'll
Amanda
probably
Munt
be-
to tell us more.
Oh, that's interesting because
Canada!
I think that's almost guaranteed to be cross-gen title.
My name's Amanda Munt. I'm a
if
level
it's saying
artist
October
on Watchdogs
28th,
Legion at Ubisoft Toronto.
That tells us that
Being
maybe
a
the
level
consoles
artist,
will be
I
out
think,
by
is
then.
the coolest job in video games
Potentially.
because we do get the
wonder.
freedom to kind of like pick and choose what little details we want to depict, and we get ample opportunities to tell the stories that we want to tell in the spaces that we're assigned to.
It does seem very
I
early,
have
doesn't
the
it?
capacity
but
to
if they
hide
end this
things
with
and,
saying
like,
on
small little Easter
PS5,
eggs.
then we will have our. That's the most
Unity,
interesting thing
there
about
was
this
a boat somewhere in
announcement.
the world that was covered in cats. And then it happened again in Watch Dogs 2. And there may or may not be something in London that is a boat filled with cats in some capacity. So I was
You heard it
fortunate
here
enough to go to E3
first,
last year.
folks.
Some of the people that I was showing our demo to were from London. So no matter where I dropped them in the city, they would go, "Oh my God, this feels like Camden. This feels like
That's
Suffolk. This feels like
awesome.
I
Westminster."
want them to do one in Tokyo.
When people are talking
Though-
about some detail that I've put into the
I don't
world and they're excited about it, like that feels so good as somebody who, builds these worlds with care. I love
It'd
it.
be tough to do it in Tokyo because Ubisoft's like games are so diverse with character representation. Here, what would they have? Some Japanese guys and then a bunch of Australians.
And now some new
like that's all they would have.
In just a few weeks, you'll be able to battle it out with your favorite legends on iOS and Android devices.
Valhalla's still going. And here it's got a pretty big, there you go.
Yeah.
Big player base.
What was that, 40 million?
Do you guys, oh, is that new coming to iOS and Android? It's really crazy because these guys are a small team.
Yeah. Crossplay with everyone.
DK still remembers hanging out with those guys at PAX. Yeah.
Aww.
They're cool dudes.
Yeah.
And they got Adventure Time in there.
Ooh.
And they didn't start as Ubisoft, right? Like they got
No, I don't
up.
think so. Yeah.
And now, whether you need a Tom Clancy action
They
fix
were
on the go, or
turbo-friendly.
want to dive back into one of the most beloved
They were
fantasy
very
franchises in gaming,
turbo-friendly, yes.
we've got you covered.
What is this?
Might and Magic, eh? I remember Might and Magic.
Yeah, what? It's a mobile game. What has this been out for? Okay, evidently it's been out for a while. What was Might and Magic originally? Like,
It's like the one strategy game I ever played.
I don't recall it myself. I'm not sure I ever played.
Old school RPG.
The target is being held on the ground floor.
New IP? Elite Squad. Is Ubisoft going team shooter? It's looking like a team shooter. I mean, the Tom Clancy games are team shooters, but
Target northeast rooftop.
stylized team shooter.
Inbound, danger close.
I need an EMP deployed now.
EMP imminent.
Do not destroy this building.
It's only like 7 years old. Splinter Cell! Woo! What?
Hey, take this.
Don't make me regret this.
I forgot they have Splinter Cell. We've been talking about Splinter Cell needs to come back. But what is this? Oh, it's not Splinter Cell?
He's just in it.
It's more Tom Clancy.
Elite Squad.
Speaking of Tom Clancy, it's been 5 years since Rainbow Six Siege first
It looked like
launched, and
Sam
the community
Fisher,
has
didn't
never
it?
been stronger. In celebration of this milestone,
guess
Ubisoft
it's just Sam
Montreal has put
Fisher
together a
in
special video to
a
thank
Tom
all of the
Clancy
amazing
thing.
players and developers
Was Splinter
that
Cell
have helped
Tom
Siege
Clancy
become
based
the
to
game
begin
it is
with?
today.
Cartoon
Rainbow
Clancy.
Six Siege.
Here's your Rainbow Sixes.
In December 2015, a small team released Rainbow Six Siege. A game built on a strong vision, creativity, competitiveness, and team play.
Pour le joueur, le 1er décembre, c'est un début, mais pour nous aussi. Il faut tout de suite s'engager et dire aux joueurs, ce jeu est installé, tu peux t'y installer aussi, et nous serons là.
That original vision was quickly
Yeah, are you
adopted by our
finally learning
passionate
French?
community,
Yeah,
propelling
like she
it to
barely
a
even
whole
knows
new
any other
level.
language. Oh god, no. You can do it. You can totally
It's
do it.
really easy.
Such a special moment.
We don't know
Being
French.
At
I know
1 year
pretty much all of
anniversary
it.
of Rainbow Six now.
Il
being
fait
stronger
froid,
than ever,
je
and more
suis
players today than we had in the past.
poisson dans la
It means,
maison.
the world to us.
But we also
Stop
had our
flexing
share
your
of challenges.
health that touches upon subjects like matchmaking, connectivity, all those aspects are absolutely critical to the experience of the player.
They have free classes.
Through it all, we're always driven by you, our community. And together, we grow stronger.
There is no sequel plan here for the next 10 years, so expect more Rainbow Six in your life for quite some time.
Look at this.
Tous les succès, c'est vraiment le résultat de autant de nous que de vous. Ce jeu, il est autant le vôtre qu'il est le nôtre, nous, l'équipe de développement.
Now 60 million players strong, we're just getting started.
No, she doesn't work on this anymore.
From the devs that build the game to the community that plays it.
But she very much supports the community.
Genevieve has moved on to other things.
If you haven't tried it yet, dive into our new Operation Steel Wave update available now and take Ace and Malusi out for a spin.
A few days ago, we introduced y'all to a brand new multiplayer shooter. Now, it's time to venture into the hyperscape.
Huh? What? He said we've been introduced to this. I don't remember this.
Hyperscape.
This was on a show and trailer? Well, fuck me.
A hack in the hyperscape. That's not supposed to be there. Let me get you all up to speed, okay?
Well, that's some pretty good quality shit. That
About
must
30
be
years
CG
ago,
trailer.
everything that we feared about our future started to come
Lisa.
true. We made some good decisions. We made some bad decisions. Actually, we made a lot of bad decisions. So, here we are.
Yeah, that's the real thing. They're gonna put cows in VR to make them not depressed about being in barns.
Megacities.
In Parms?
In barns.
Oh.
But the people at Prisma changed everything.
What does it all mean, I wonder?
They gave everyone a way out. The hyperscape. In the hyperscape, the biggest draw by far is Crown Rush. This is where anyone can become someone.
Battle Royale.
It reminds you of Unreal Tournament and Quake. I was getting VR before me. That's when I know I'm really behind. Yeah, it looks like Ready Player One. I was thinking that when she first came down.
If you get good at Crown Rush, it can change your life. But strange things have been happening lately. Rumors of people getting hurt.
Lisa.
Users disappearing from the real world. A darker secret lies at the heart of Hyperscape. And we have to find it. Some of us are searching for a way up. Some of us for a way out. And for others, a new way altogether. That's what brings us to the edge of the future. To the Hyperscape.
I'm JC, Creative Director on Hyperscape.
JC's work on Far Cry Primal and multiple Prince of Persia titles has established him as a top creative here at Ubisoft.
For me, what's exciting is we started building it from scratch. Seeing it grow, adding ideas is really cool.
Hello, contender. Welcome to the Hyperscape.
The game takes place in 2054. It's in a future where humanity has grown a little darker. one of the companies there, they are launching what's called the Hyperscape, which is a virtual world and the internet of the future. It's the place where everything converges.
They paint that room to match his eyes.
Within the virtual world, there is a battle royale that takes place in the
feels
virtual
like
city
the
of Neo
virtual
Arcadia.
part of Saints Row 3 or 4 or whatever when you go into the...
Then we also introduce
lacks personality from what I can see.
You get the opportunity to do parkour on the rooftops, go into interiors.
It wouldn't be Ubisoft without
parkour. Go to the landmarks where there's more opportunities to get cool items, but also more players, so it's a risk-reward kind of deal.
Getting people to come to his office, he's like, no,
introduce the notion of hacks,
parkour.
Abilities that you can
And he watches from the top of his floor, and the only way to get to his office is to parkour your way up.
You can wrap yourself into a ball and bounce around the battlefield.
Backflip.
So a lot of abilities that let you have fun, that are toys that you can play
I will
with.
accept it. This time.
Finally, it's made as a spectacle, so all the viewers will be able to interact with the game on different levels through the Twitch extension. So every few minutes, there's going to be a vote, and viewers will be able to decide what effect they want to affect the whole
that's
battle.
cool.
So things like changing the gravity,
It's a battle royale. You know what?
ammo, or
Sure.
stuff like that. So players, while this happens, really have to adapt to all kinds of stuff that is happening.
I've been wanting a battle royale that I might like.
So for me, it's really exciting because right now, as we speak, we're launching the open beta, and so it's going to be available for free-to-play for all PC players worldwide. And I really want to thank all the players,
When it
all the
hits
streamers,
console,
and all
I
the
may give
viewers
it a
who
shot.
participated in tech test and who will
I
participate
wanted
in the
to give a
open
shot to
Here's a shot
that
glimpse
other one that
of what
hit
you can
console, but everybody said it was like meh, and like the player base went through the floor almost immediately. When it comes to these types of massive games, can you guys remember what the name of that other one was? Like,
learn how it's done.
it had like axes and stuff.
Apex.
No. Axes and like it was more close quarters and like stylized and stuff.
Mine.
They had bow and arrows. Project Darwin. And the player base for that one just kind of went through the floor immediately. And the thing is with these types of games, you need a massive company backing them up for them to be good. And Ubisoft is a massive company. But do I believe that they'll support this game forever? Well, they do for the Tom Clancy stuff, like Rainbow Six and stuff, so maybe they will. Maybe I have the faith that if I invest the time necessary to get good at this, that I'll be rewarded with a long time experience.
Yeah.
Like, it looks semi-interesting. It doesn't look incredible. I'm still waiting for Blizzard, basically, to make a battle royale.
The digital world of the Hyperscape gave our artists and developers incredible freedom when it came to designing characters.
Production manager Anna Maria Muska is going to take us behind the scenes of character design.
Gameplay is already.
My name is Anna Maria
a look
Muska.
later.
I'm the production manager for characters and weapons on Hyperscape. We have paid an exceptional amount of detail to our characters. We switch different outfits, different fashion statements, different tattoos, different materials until we see them as real individuals, as real people. So the second you pick a character, you see them in game, you understand what their motivations are and what drives them and what challenges them. This was the first lineup of characters. This is our default base.
I'm not seeing these like H&M models and saying,
everything has been
I see what drives this person.
Would this person actually like this type
Her
of outfit?
drive
Would this person
is getting enough money to
enjoy the type
afford
of
the
tattoos that we're
salon.
putting on them? Will they actually like
His
to
drive
be
is
in
can he
this
get into the club this time?
Each season, we plan to
Without having to
produce
wait
new
in line
outfits for
all
these
night.
characters. So we're hoping some of our players are gonna see the effort and maybe even correlate some
His
of
drive.
the accessories to what's gonna happen.
What product do I use on my beard? I don't want to. Like, yeah, it's cute. She's put a lot of effort into it. It's just I'm not seeing it. I'm sorry.
As we
I'm
move
an
into the
asshole.
next generation of gaming, Ubisoft has been working
We
closely
can't
with
all
console
be
makers
tiger
to take
lilies.
advantage of all the extraordinary
Yeah, I mean, for me,
capabilities
they all
these
look
new
generic.
consoles will offer.
I'm a
Now
guy
we
who
have a
designs
special guest to
ducks
tell us a
and
little more.
tiger lilies.
Hey everyone, Phil Spencer from Xbox. With Watchdogs Legion, Ubisoft
Is he
is
wearing the
supporting
same
smart
shirt as he
delivery.
did for Devolver
So
Digital?
you will get the
I think
absolute
he kinda
best
rapid
version
fired
of the
these.
game on
I
any
mean, he's a
version of
busy dude.
Xbox you're playing on.
That's fair.
On Series X, You'll get to take advantage
Phil
of the
Spencer's the
amazing
epitome
work the
of
team has
this
done
impression.
with DirectX ray tracing to create an absolutely immersive version of London like you've never seen before.
Yeah.
Ubisoft has a unique ability to create immersive worlds, setting a new bar that continues to drive our industry forward. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I love the time I've spent exploring the world in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I can't wait for you to see the gameplay from Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's coming up now.
Bro.
All right, we know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April. And now it's time for a deep dive into the world of Vikings.
My name is Julien Laferrière, and I'm the producer of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So a couple of weeks ago, we announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the reaction from the fans was just amazing. The time period of Vikings is really, really inspiring. When we did our research, we found that, they were not mindless barbarians.
Yeah, they were.
That's
Vikings
DK's
were actually
boss.
farmers trying to find new lands for them to settle. And so they had really human motivations. So for us to have this opportunity to tell kind of the real story about Vikings and kind of separate ourselves from the myths and the folklore is really something that drove us to make this game. The team went to Norway and England to take the same roads that the Vikings did to really experience what it meant to be a Viking at that time.
I did stuff
And
like
then
that
leaving
in
Norway, which is
Newfoundland.
barren but majestic, and
Yeah, they
just
landed in
coming
Newfoundland.
by boat
Yeah.
First, right?
in England and see
Well, I don't know
those
about first,
rolling
but-
green
When they
hills
found the New
full
World,
of
that's
sheep,
where they started.
full of
Oh, yeah?
life.
Yeah, that was that
It's
commercial
just
part
this
of our heritage.
moment
Ah.
that
It was
most
technically the first
likely
people
the
to discover
Vikings
America.
felt as
who
well.
weren't
You need
native.
to see this land of opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game. It is
Aurora
a personal
Borealis.
adventure, it is the story of Eivor, a Viking chieftain. Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide when you start the game.
I want a
will have to
duck!
leave Norway to settle in England because you just can't live in
DK,
Norway.
tell him to
anymore.
let me
There's
make
too
a
much
duck.
Political pressure,
Or just
no
program a duck
resources
in.
available.
Hide it
That's-
behind the Konami code for me.
Probably the best way to do it. No ducks.
Just
Obviously,
put the duck
in
in.
England,
Just put the
it's
duck
full
in.
of
Don't fuck around.
Anglo-Saxons and other people, and they don't really want you there. So you will have to fight your way there to kind of build your own settlement and see your clan prosper.
Yes, I do.
Vikings were brutal warriors.
Shields!
And the fact that they were mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really inspired us to kind of revamp the fight system. To leverage the brutality and the intensity of
So wait a
Viking
minute,
combat.
how's this Assassin's Creed?
Vikings were not only fighting face to face, they were masters of stealth and deception when needed. They used
They're
basically
like
any sort of
ninjas.
tactics they could use to win the battle. So we want to portray the full range of combat that you can imagine coming from the Vikings.
What the fuck? I wanted you to hug him.
We are very happy to finally be able to show you the game we've all been working on. So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, it looks like all we're gonna get today is deep dives. I hope that there's a one more thing. It's 45 minutes long and we're coming up on time.
Can you open my drink for me, please? I've got a
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you
all
will
over
relive
my
the
sleeves.
epic saga of the Viking
With
invasion
the type of
England.
presentation like this, you kind of expect a special announcement.
You play as Eivor, a Viking from Norway, who will lead his or her battle-hardened warriors across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal to build a thriving Norse settlement in a hostile land.
For the good of our clan, it is time we go a Viking. Today we raid, that tomorrow we may build.
England is a dark age tangle of broken kingdoms and warring dynasties. A land
What
of
is this running
opportunity
on?
and riches. As you prowl England's rivers by Longship, you may raid
looking kind of
locations
rough.
you spot from the shoreline. Ground your ship and blow
This is
your
looking
horn to
really
lead your
rough.
raiding
What
crew into
is this
battle.
running on? Whoa, like, I mean, that, I won't go by frames, because, like, it could be the stream. I hope.
Your crew will assist you in all your raids, fighting enemies, battering down doors, and stealing cargo too heavy for one set of
Looks like
arms.
Xbox, maybe? Current gen Xbox?
Whatever riches
Maybe
and
it sucks
resources you
that I'm,
pillage
like,
may be used to
playing-
develop your settlement, giving you
Yeah, that looks
access to
shiny.
useful
That's
services,
nice.
better tools, and new settlers.
This looks good again.
At the heart of your
But all
settlement
that
is the
gameplay,
Alliance
that,
map.
like, looks so
It will serve as a
flat.
record of the allies you have made, and a guide for future opportunities.
It did say work in progress.
The Viking Age was a time of warriors and
Ubisoft
legends.
might be trying to keep
In
the bar
Valhalla,
low, considering
you will find
their
the largest
history of
variety of
setting it
enemies
too
ever
high with their
assembled in an
presentation and then
Assassin's
lowering
Creed
it later.
Mm.
Ooh, I like the blood. I don't feel like we've seen this much blood
offers a
in
unique
Assassin's
challenge.
Creed gameplay in a while.
Some
Or
will
ever.
Most of
Make
this
with
is
their
gameplay,
allies
but yes,
special
very
attacks,
much in
while
progress.
others will use nearby objects to their advantage.
This looks better. It's
including
not
the bodies
quite
of
as flat.
fallen warriors.
This is a lot better. That night
Face
scene,
these
though,
attacks.
approaching the beach looks
You must
really
find and exploit your opponent's weaknesses to gain the upper hand. Take the fight to your foes with a host of brutal new combat abilities. Snare them with a Viking harpoon. Pummel them with throwing axes. Incapacitate them with the new stun system to keep them at a distance, or finish them off. Dual wield any two weapons you wish to unleash a deadly combination of attacks.
2 flasks.
Whoa.
Customize your fighting style as you see fit, and
I don't
become a
think that's a
legendary Viking warrior.
Or drink.
I like it.
All combinations of weapons are available to
Double
dual
shields.
wield, including 2 shields.
I mean, that's legit. Why not, right? Yeah, they just said it. There
Oh,
you go.
yeah.
Why not? Shields can be pretty fucking brutal. Whoa! Yeah!
A head came off, man.
Situations call for
Leg, then head.
In this new land,
That's
a
illegal
Viking
in
must find a
my
way
land.
To adapt. As Eivor is not welcome in England, you may need to outsmart your enemies, avoiding unwanted attention in towns and bustling cities. Use Eivor's hood and cloak to blend with crowds, and slip past watchful eyes.
Why not a bald head?
An
That
unseen
basically makes you a
hunter among the
doppelganger. Shapeshifter.
Is that why you do it?
I'm
From
just thinking
capital
of,
cities and villages to the dense forests and rolling hills of England, exploration is vital to keeping yourself sharp. You must feed off the land if you hope to endure. Hunt and forage to replenish your health and fortify your
Is that
equipment.
a direwolf?
Looks like it. Oh, come on.
Search pagan temples and Roman ruins for new activities and challenges to strengthen yourself and your settlement. The more you explore, the more of England's secrets you will
You
reveal.
know they found out what Stonehenge was recently? Like, actually what it is?
No.
It was just outhouses.
But as you push deeper into England, the enemy will push back.
But
In a
how'd they
series of
build it?
climactic moments,
I'm just joking.
Assassin's
Oh.
Creed Valhalla will feature massive assaults in which you will lead Eivor's army into battle against heavily guarded Saxon fortresses.
Today, we will reclaim her.
Stone outhouses, Becky.
And tomorrow, we rebuild.
But all she doesn't care. How'd they build it though?
Assassin's Creed
They
Valhalla
still don't know,
will
Becky, but it was
transport you to
outhouses.
wondrous and haunted lands, inspired by
That's all it
Norse
was.
and England's pagan roots. It will challenge and surprise with unforgettable characters, thrilling triumphs, and tragic losses, giving you the chance to live your own Viking saga.
Ooh. I'm liking the door. Like,
Yeah, there's lots.
I feel like Assassin's Creed has, despite what it's like, it is, Assassins has not been high on the violence. It's been mostly like kind of just like clang, clang, shing, 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 but like no.
9th century England is truly unlike anything the franchise has seen before. Assassin's Creed Valhalla will release this holiday season on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia.
Did they say when
We're close to wrapping up today, but before we go,
Watchdogs
our
would end?
CEO,
Or what?
Yves Guillemot,
Oh,
is here
here
to
he
share a
comes.
few words.
Okay, here we go. Yves.
I hope you will have enjoyed what you have seen today and that you will love playing these games. I'm proud of our teams for delivering an ambitious, broad, and creative lineup of games. And we haven't shown you everything yet. In fact, we have a lot more to come.
Oh.
So you will have another Ubisoft Forward to reveal even more about our upcoming games.
God damn it.
But before ending this show, we have one more thing to share with you.
Oh, Yves. Is this...
That was a ride, man.
Beyond Good and Evil? No, this is different.
Skull and Bones?
Far Cry. This is gonna be Far Cry.
You think?
I think, yep.
But it's gonna be Far Cry 0. The start of it all.
I'm loving that this is the intro to every show currently on TV. Including Deadly Premonition's new intro.
Yeah.
What?
You know that, dude.
Did you know?
No.
You didn't know?
No.
I knew, it got leaked. It would be so
seriously?
amazing if Gus Fring wasn't leaked.
No, I totally didn't know this.
Oh, too bad that you're not the big reactor. Because it would have been big if I had not known.
I gave an O. What more do you want from me?
Massive, but instead fucking... What was it? Who leaked it? Some,
PlayStation Store?
PlayStation Store for, like, the Netherlands or something. Some random PlayStation Store did. Or maybe it was the Hong Kong PlayStation Store or something. Yeah.
Hong Kong?
All it takes is one stupid intern and bam, leak.
Fuerzas ultrapenetrantes, estamos cansados de los farsantes.
Okay, here we go.
It's beautiful, amigo. Perfect, but useless. I have something for you, Diego. Give me your hands.
Oh, he's so scary.
Papa.
Now, the grenade is simple. It has 4 basic parts. The shell, which contains the explosive, the fuse, the handle, and of course, the pin.
What are you doing?
Breathe. The pin simply holds the handle in place. It is only when you let go that this grenade goes boom. Follow me.
Jesus.
Now, I am El Presidente, which means that someday you will be El Presidente. And our people, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn apart by opinions, noise, indecision, strangled by their own freedoms. And even if you have love in your heart, even if you want what's best for them, if you only want to save them from themselves, they will hate you, Diego. Everything you say, do, believe, will be wrong. They will answer you with screams. Call you evil. A monster. And give you this. So you tell me.
Wow.
Are you evil? And are you a monster? Because our country is like this grenade, except it has two basic parts. Our people and you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom. Do you understand now? Prove it.
What'd he say? Prove it. The kid gave us a date.
Lisa's snorting.
And with that, we're wrapping up our first Ubisoft Forward.
I was expecting him.
Too bad that got leaked.
Today, we've seen the next generation of Assassin's Creed, the birth of a resistance in Watchdogs Legion.
Thank you for the recap.
The cyber chaos of Hyperscape, and the epic reveal of Far Cry's newest installment, along with so much more.
I want the games that
we'll be back
Ubisoft does
later
to
this
live
year
up to their
with another
trailers.
Ubisoft Forward filled with tons of game news and
Their
updates.
trailers often
Thanks
have
for
great
joining us.
drama and pacing and stuff, and it's so rare that I feel like their games do. Whoa! Oh yeah. This is looking nice and juicy though.
Yeah.
Like I can't. Can you guys remember an Assassin's Creed
Hey everyone,
that has
welcome
this
to the
much?
Ubisoft Forward post show. My name is Yusuf Magid, and this is
Juice?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're going to take a deep dive into about
No
30
Beyond
minutes of
Good and Evil.
gameplay, and we're
But
joined by
you
a
still
very special guest here.
more to
Hey
come
everyone,
with another
this is
Ubi
Philip
Forward
Bergeron,
presentation.
otherwise known as Fizz. I am the quest director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So Fizz, we're setting up here for what looks like an epic encounter. Tell us exactly what's going on.
And that's the other thing.
Yeah, so here we're midway through the quest that we're showing for Ubi Forward.
No
Here
skull and
we're looking at the
bones.
assault
Odyssey had
of Bird
some
Castle.
blood.
So
Skull
these
and
are
Bones
big
is
moments
coming.
that
They're
usually
basically
sort of
they
culminate
took
at
what
the end
was
of the story.
successful in
And so
Black
here
Flag and
Eivor,
decided to make its own
Viking Raider,
franchise.
is taking a group of raiders and furs into Bird Castle to go and take down Ruin.
Origins had some
and his
bloody
clan.
enemies. Odyssey,
This
all
bloody?
the
So
kills
who
got
exactly
very
is
bloody.
Ruid, and why does
People have been
Eivor
saying
sort of want to
Odyssey
pick a
was
fight with him?
bloody.
Basically, Ruid comes into play about halfway through this story arc, where
None of
at
this
the beginning
resembles
of the arc, this is something that
Assassin's
happened
Creed
before.
anymore, honestly.
Ruid basically
Like-
caused a lot of turmoil within the territory.
kind of
and
wish they
Oswald,
would
who's the sort of elderman
let
to be,
Assassin's
to
Creed
inherit
be
this
Assassin's
territory,
Creed and have
needs your
made a
help
different
to take him down.
franchise
Oswald
path.
having just been
Because
defeated
Odyssey
in a previous
and
quest,
this,
so here
and
this
even
is
Black Flag,
revenge, but
all
also
of them
accomplishing
kind
your
of
ultimate
don't
goal.
So
feel
Fizz, as you're
like
talking,
Assassin's
we're
Creed
seeing
anymore.
some of
And
the
that's
combat
have a couple
of
earthquakes?
Valhalla. Can you tell us a
I don't
little
think
bit
so.
about the changes to combat this time around?
Sorry.
We wanted to basically add a lot
and I don't feel
of
super
new
attached to the
mechanics to
Assassin's
it.
Creed series.
So we
Same,
added
so I don't
some
see it as
wielding for the
sacred.
player, like a stun
but
system in there, and we really needed.
it does
to do
feel
this
like
to
they're
sort
kind of just
portray
like
that sort
slapping a
the
label
brutality
on.
that comes with being a Viking in this day and age. So
Black Pirate, or Black Flag was more of a pirate sim.
Yeah, it didn't feel like Assassin's Creed. There
yeah, it
were
is
moments where you went on
interesting.
shore and you got into some bushes and you kind of like snuck around a bit, but it didn't feel like an Assassin's Creed game at all.
Oswald. He lives. Oswald!
The Assassin's Creed part hasn't been shown yet.
Shut your ass, twig spy!
Here, Eivor has
by
taken
that,
her entire
DK,
army
do you
through
mean
the assault, and
the
finally, it's revealed
future
that
part, or do you
our
just mean
ally,
being an
Oswald, is still
assassin
alive,
type?
and Ruid has him
The
captured.
animus. Or do you mean the being the assassin type of person? Because I have a feeling you still play as a Viking regardless. And I am making the comparison to Black Flag, where even when you were the assassin type gameplay, it still was you're a pirate.
So now that we've seen that Oswald is alive, we have Rued within our sights. What's the next step here?
So the next move for Eivor is to finally face off against Rued.
There's a lot more
She
to
has
the
her
story.
allies. They can take care of the rest of the army. Now it's time to go one-on-one against Rued in one of our boss battles, actually.
Your battle is not yet won, Oswald.
And it's worth pointing out, actually, that here what we're showing is the player going and facing off against Rued aggressively, but we tend to always have to support a 360-degree approach in these things. So the player could have approached this a little bit more stealthy and gotten at least like a good critical hit on either Rued or his wolf, and so you can play this a little bit more strategically if that's your playstyle.
So we're not only fighting Rued here, but also his pet wolf, right?
One of my preferred strategies is to eliminate the wolf first, just focus fire on him. It takes at least one opponent out of the combat. Now Rued will have extra abilities that come into play if you do eliminate his wolf, but I think having one opponent less in the battlefield makes for a good strategy in the whole.
I learned my AC history from watching you guys. Oh god, no.
That's a weird crossover in my life, but
Yeah, well,
I hope you get a chance to play it when it's released.
My bastardization of AC, I don't know that should be. Oh, I like, that's interesting, the glowing. Was that in the previous, was that in Odyssey, those glowing spots on the enemy?
Trolls, not treated as equals. We are better than this, than all of them.
Do not drag me down to the sewage you wallow in.
We just had gained by tooth and nail for a second. You'd throw in with these wastrels? These arrogant swine?
Eivor, no! He should be tried before God, a lawful assembly.
Alright, so we've defeated Rued, we freed Oswald. What comes
Fucking
next?
kill him.
Oswald in this case prefers for
Yeah,
Rued
kill
to be
Oswald.
kept alive, and so you basically have to choose: are you going to go against his wishes,
Don't be a
or
fucking
stay true
cock.
to your nature?
Kill the fucking guy.
So we have this choice to make, but before we get into that, I want to rewind a little bit because we just did this big grand assault, but Eivor couldn't have done it alone. She clearly had to.
Oswald just
some
shows
folks
up
along
at
the
those
way,
moments
get some
to ruin
troops,
your
get some
fun.
allies. So let's actually rewind and see how we went about first gathering those troops.
Right. So when coming up to an assault, it's a game of numbers. Eivor can go into pretty much any location and be a
Oswald's the
stealthy
guy that
Viking,
runs up when you're about
eliminating
to
some
do
of
the
the
trash and be like,
assets, which
"No,
ultimately
wait,
would be
you should
a
rinse
strategy.
out those
You can do
containers."
that, and you'll have some of
am
the
Oswald.
ingredients or of the assets there that will have been
I'm so
sabotaged.
sorry.
But you still need an army. So here what we're seeing is Eivor going around the countryside and raising what we call a fyrd, which is the men and the women of the territory who come up and fight in the name of a king. So here Eivor is going around and trying to convince people to fight in the name of Oswald to finally take down the oppressor that is Rued.
Defending East Anglia, defending you. Will you not do the same?
What? Die in defense of a lost cause?
Yeah, so she's really using like the image and like the leadership that
Yeah,
Oswald
like-
had, what he meant to the people
I
in
wonder
his
what
name. She's going to
happened, or
recruit
would
these
have
people.
happened if they
Pretty
released
words,
this
Dane.
as something called like
Men of
Vikings.
Thailward have their own
Yeah, like just make it a
So
new
we're told by this read that there are troops, there are
there's
allies
more to
that
it, I
you can
guess,
add to our
is-
cause.
is
But first
the
we sort of
story.
need to do him a favor, is that right?
Yeah, so obviously these people have been run down by Rued and the impact he's had on the territory, so I think a lot of these people have sort of lost hope. And so you need to show them that
those
there
of
is
you
hope.
guys who played
And so here
through
Eivor is
Odyssey-
basically helping them take back one of their
Did
prized
Odyssey's
locations
choices feel
by
like it
taking a couple
affected
men
the
and
outcome of your
raiding
game
a
that
nearby
much, or did it just feel like
township,
slightly
basically
diverging
taking
river
it back for
paths
the
that all
people
merged back
and
into
showing
one?
that there's a reason to continue fighting and then get them on your side.
Because what these scenes in Odyssey that we didn't play hardly at all, but the scenes seem to invoke a sense of like, ooh, I'm playing Mass Effect suddenly. But it couldn't have been. There's no way.
Some did.
You think it went in Mass Effect directions? Oh, wow, that's
when
juicy.
Eivor does this, obviously you have access to a full suite.
Give me the red
abilities.
stuff.
So again, the improvements that we've done to the fight system. You have some brutal axe throwing in there. You have archery or like range combat abilities in there as well. So really, again, like depending on what your playstyle is, you can customize your loadout and go in there how you wish.
This guy doesn't care. He's a berserker, that's why.
Jesus.
Fizz, we just saw this giant pulse go out. What exactly was that?
So that is what we call the Odin sight. The Odin sight is basically our interpretation of the Eagle Vision from previous games, and we thought it was good to sort of bring that back. It's basically Eivor's intuition. It's how she perceives the world. When the player uses that, it'll highlight basically interactive objects, like things that will bring her an advantage. So
the red
we'll have
came out of his
arrows,
mouth.
like health consumables that are in there. So it really is like a good way of sort of understanding the world and showing you like things that you can go and touch.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things we can touch, we just picked up this awesome new weapon.
It's something we wanted to play with on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where we have fewer weapons in the game, but you can invest in them more.
Fuck up that fucking stained glass, man.
And so depending on what your preferred
Someone
playstyle
worked
is, or
really
your
hard
preferred
on that
weapon
stained
type,
glass.
then you can go and choose. I'm gonna
Stop pulling
fight
off your
with this
skin.
weapon and invest heavily into that.
No one
Not
needs
only are
to
we
see that.
reading weapons, but we see something here called the Book of Knowledge.
This is
Can you
the
tell us a little bit
juiciest
more about
kitty.
that?
Look at her
They
eyes.
unlock skills for the player. So here you can see the Valkyrie dive that has just been unlocked. We have these spread out throughout the world. So again, to promote exploration and discovery.
How long does all this go on?
As
We're
you
doing
travel
a
through
deep
the
dive
world, you
here.
explore
Yeah, this is their
locations. You can
potion.
find these books that will
So
add
gross.
abilities that you
It
can
is
go
interesting, I suppose.
and invest in, put into your
30
loadout,
minutes.
then go into the different locations or the different quests in the game and use those depending on what your playstyle is.
You're fat and I love you.
Now we've
I
recaptured
guess
this village,
part
we've
of what
secured
just
more troops
makes
for
me
our
not
assault. Let's jump back now and figure out what we
Super
want to
excited
do
about
with
these
Ruin.
games is that I don't expect Ubisoft to ever go in
The
directions that you
rightful
don't
king of
expect.
East Anglia has spared your life today, and so it will be.
Part of what fuck off. Part of what I love about Rockstar is you never know what they're gonna do. They're so fucking crazy. Like but I really find
Thank you.
these stories to be quite predictable.
Eivor decided to let him live. Ruud is really angry about that. Being a Norse Viking, being put to the death in battle is your road to Valhalla. So he was basically
that was worse
denied
to do to
access
him.
to Valhalla in this situation.
Whoa.
Obviously, all these decisions come into play later on in the game, so we have very difficult decisions for the player to make. We didn't want to have easy decisions.
Yeah, you know, when I was playing, I decided to listen to Oswald and spare Ruud's life, but what exactly is the relationship like between Eivor and Oswald?
Oswald is
So
a
the
real
relationship between
piece of
Eivor
shit.
and Oswald is
I hate
it's an
him.
alliance. It's basically Eivor is surrounded by territories that initially getting into England are hostile towards her, and obviously if you want to set up a new settlement, you want to make sure that your neighbor is friendly. So here in East Anglia, Oswald is the man for the job, where putting him into a position of power would help her sort of secure her
I
territory.
mean, I bet a lot of
So earlier on to the territory,
leaders were like that
Eivor
at
comes
some
in
point
here,
in time.
meets Oswald. The problems he had with
Leaders?
Ruud are sort of put
Yeah.
to light, and
Who are like
going
Oswald?
through the arc,
Yeah.
you basically
What are you talking
help
about?
him
I don't
He's
know.
not a
I
leader.
think
with
he's some
Ruud
sort of leader,
and,
isn't he?
and
No.
aligning basically Danes with Saxons.
Yeah, he totally
in
is.
He's a
one,
natural
territory.
born cuck.
So, Fizz, we've completed
Look at him.
the assault. We've gotten our hands dirty with some combat, taken down Ruud. We have this big open region of East Anglia, so before we head off to Oswald's
We're
wedding,
the
what do you
leader?
say we head out, have some fun, and see what we can get into in the open world?
That sounds great.
Then why don't
So we
Hey,
see
it's a kitty!
cat here with a speech bubble above it.
Yes.
And you best believe if you let me talk to a cat, I'm gonna talk to a cat.
Yeah, these are some of our some of my favorite moments
Fuck
actually
this
in the game,
kid.
where we put out a whole bunch of events throughout the territory. And it sort of rewards again exploration, going around. It's a chance for us also to sort of showcase a different side of Eivor. A lot of the quests sort of deal
Is
more
this
with
Norse
like
child
politics
trying to
and
kill the
warfare,
cat?
and this shows a slightly more human nature to her. So it permits us to explore that character a little bit more. And so here, basically, like you're trying to help a kid with his cat, and ultimately get that cat to sort of join your crew as a cat raider.
You just said cat raider way too casually. You're telling me I could have a cat Viking raider on my longship?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh my god, yes, I love it. Perfect.
So yeah, as you're riding around the rivers of England, you would see a cat basically walking around your longship, keeping your Viking raiders company.
Is that for real?
Speaking of the Viking Longship, we're seeing some of that gameplay here now. Can you talk a little bit about how that works and functions in Valhalla?
Yeah, so starting out on this
That
project,
sounds like a miserable life.
I think the Viking Longship is one of the biggest images that we all have when we think about Vikings in our game. And so Vikings had this awesome design for Longship that had a very shallow hull, so it permitted them to go very far inland very quickly, and you could basically disembark Viking raiders like on pretty much any shore. We added that into the game where you can basically sail up to any location and then just decide to disembark with your guys and raid a location, loot all this treasure, get back in the ship, and then continue really, sailing down the river to your next
waggling them about.
So I know past Assassin's Creed games allowed for songs and things like that to be sung on ships. Will Valhalla have a similar version of that?
Yeah, so this is something we actually wanted the crew of your ship to become like your home away from home. So we added stories and songs into the ship. So basically, as a player is going around, you could decide to have your skull sort of sing a song for you as you row down the river. But you can also decide, depending on who the raiders are in your ship, to hear more about their life. So you can actually queue up stories, and they'll give you a little bit more background on who they are. So you get to know your sort of fighters as you're traveling around the world, which is a cool moment.
So here we're seeing a bit of a different view. What exactly are we looking at?
We had this on previous Assassins where you would like ride on your horse and you could pull out, have the horse sort of follow the track. We have a similar thing for the ship where you can put up your sails. It's cruise control for the ship, so you can pull back, take in the scenery, listen to some songs or some stories, and just take it all in.
What? A ship following you?
What he's saying, how you kind of like follow a line.
So, speaking of Viking songs, we have an activity here that's not exactly singing, but kind of related, right?
Yeah, so here what we have is what we call flanking, which was an activity that Norse people would partake in. They would like to have a battle of wits and sort of poetry where insults would be thrown back and forth between each other. The idea was to try and have a good insult, but also to have a good rhythm and a good rhyme in there. So it's basically a precursor to rap battles.
Rap battle him.
Here's the silver. Now begin.
To all those whom I speak, they say Eivor's a clod.
Third down.
Then you're speaking to fools and their knowledge is flawed.
Well.
How exactly do you go about being successful in one of these?
The trick behind a good flight was to choose the right insult, identifying the right cadence, and then trying to find what rhymed the best.
I'm known for my might.
Interesting. Silent whispers all claim that you're terribly dense.
Then you've clearly misheard them. My wit is immense.
Oh, you looked out with that one. Well, what a surprise. Eivor of the Raven Clan is a true talent. I'm shocked.
Don't believe everything you hear, unless it touches on my flighting. Then heed every word.
Take the coin.
So now that we've proven our sharp tongue and wit, I think it's time for a bit more relaxing activity. So we're fishing here.
And then she gave it back. She was pretty good.
So
but he gave back double their money.
Eivor a fishing line, so you can actually throw out a line and go catch a fish.
3 times.
This is used basically to play into our new health loop where the player will lose health in the world, and it doesn't automatically jump. has. So you actually have to go out and get some supplies. So you'll find mushrooms and some food that you can gather. But here, like you can also catch some fish and consume that to regain some health. We also will sometimes have it in certain quests. So it's a good way to sort of chill out on the side of the water and just again take it all in.
The fish is for the cats.
So this is what we call one of our offering altars. So the idea is that you find these around the world and you make offerings to it. So it'll take like animal parts and stuff that you can find throughout the world. Here what you're seeing though is sort of like a fancy version of it, where as you do your offering you get interrupted by some kids that basically come and steal your stuff. So it's just a way for us to sort of showcase that like the systems and the activities in the world can sort of play in with some quests and some events. So it's our way to sort of dress up these moments and make it all fit inside the whole experience.
Egyptian?
Yeah, this seemed like a really sort of unexpected turn for what I thought was going to be kind of a simple interaction.
Yeah, and it's really what we were trying to do with these events is to give another dimension to Eivor, other than just the pure Viking or the politician. Because you can imagine at some point that we'll grow old if you're always telling that version of the character. So it lets us really go into the depth of who is Eivor, what motivates her, how she can interact with the world outside of warfare and politics.
I think I was alone at least once or twice.
And it also showcases like a different facet of the world at the same time. It's not only Eivor. So
I don't want to listen to your story. You're a kid. I don't have to listen to your story.
Yeah, fuck you, kid. You're super kid.
You're just a kid. I'm an adult.
These are kids of East Anglia. They are going through tough times with whatever Rued's been doing to the territory, and so they're just here trying to survive and basically exploit the people that are there to make offerings.
It was kind of nice to see that Eivor wasn't really necessarily upset at them for stealing, and after you talk to them, you have the choice of helping them. You can give them food,
or you can kill
money, or maybe just say, "Hey, good luck, on your way."
Can you kill them?
This is something we also wanted to do a lot. Like so, here we're doing an event, we do it in quests as well, but we want to give a lot of this agency into players' hands so that they can sort of shape Eivor a little bit.
The kids are for the cats.
Who she is, so it represents them a little bit more, and they can role play that a little bit better. And again, it just gives sort of like a little bit more humanity in these moments.
Large walkers should do. Provide for small walkers.
Here, large walker.
A necklace.
Yes, it's a St. Martin seal. You're welcome here anytime, large walker. You're one of us now. Visit us, okay?
I will. Take care now, small green walkers.
So I think AC veterans might recognize this here, but what exactly is Eivor chasing down?
Yeah, so here you're seeing Eivor running down one of her tattoo images. So this is challenging the player on free run abilities, but also for fans of the series, sort of pulling at their heartstrings for some beloved features.
So are we going to be able to tattoo Eivor?
Yes. By collecting these tattoos, you actually bring them back to your settlement, and then you can customize different body parts, having different tattoos everywhere. So again, another form of expression.
We should clean up those
sort of
dead
to represent that Viking culture.
Look at the ruds, everybody.
Because one of my favorite things when I was just out there exploring East Anglia was coming upon a house or a building and realizing that there was a chest inside, but that there was no easy way in. And in this case, I saw all the doors were barred, but I knew that because there was a chest in there must have been some way to get inside. So I went around the back and, found a way in.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually caught on to that. You're pointing at something that we wanted to work on a lot on Valhalla, where we wanted the exploration to make you feel smarter. So we played a lot with puzzle solving, so cool. Making sure that, every house that you find sort of appeals to you, like it draws your attention, and then when you want to come and explore, it's not given to you. You still have to work for a little bit, so it'll challenge you on your observation skills, logic, just trying to find how do I get into this. So we play a lot with level design, quest design to offer challenges to players, and you basically come out of it like with a better feeling for the exploration, but you also get to see more of a story behind each of these locations, which we've crafted. So it gave us a little bit more time to sort of slow down the experience and tell a different version of a story.
How did she type that? Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's a work in progress.
A poor victim of someone's fury.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about exploration and just finding things out in the world, I was just wandering and came across this clearing and found this kind of morbid altar.
Yeah, so this is one of our bigger events that we have scattered in the world. So as Eivor explores,
there's cat hair all over
she
my
can
face.
find altars like this, and by interacting with them, here it's a trap that's been set by this character named Regan. Now there's a bigger story behind all this. There's multiple steps to it later on. So this is one of the moments. It permits us to go into a slightly more mystical realm and play with a boss fight that has more magical abilities, if we will. And basically have this awesome boss fight in the middle of the swamps.
Oh shit!
And so here the abilities that you see Reagan using are a little bit on the mystical side of things. What's happening is Eivor at the beginning of that trap is poisoned, and so she starts sort of hallucinating, seeing the world in a sort of different light and
Remember
filter.
when Trevor would go into his crazy hallucinations
sort of
when he was insulted for being Canadian?
The realm of the weird.
My rage! Spirit of my father's rage! Fill me!
I have to ask my cousin who's obsessed with Vikings if she's gonna play this.
Probably.
Enough is cracking. Arrest your demons.
So we just saw here that Regan belongs to something called the Daughters of Lyria.
Yeah, that's correct. By finding the other daughters, you'll get a little bit more backstory on who they are, so we don't want to spoil that too much. But it creates like a sort of greater story that is not on the main path in any way, but it is still very rich and adds to the lore of this world and actually plays into history.
So we just had a really exciting, really intense boss battle. I think it's time for something a little bit more relaxing and calming now.
Yeah, it's all about pacing yourself with the highs and the lows. So here we have a low chill moment of what we call building a cairn. So Eivor, as she explores the world, will find these sort of meditative areas where you have a pile of rocks that you could just stack on on top of one another using physics. And I mean, yeah, the ultimate goal is to try and get the highest pile of rocks, but really it's about taking in the sights, relaxing, taking a step back, and just building something.
Together we stack stones into cairns.
These?
Yes. Think of this as a test of mind and wit. Stack the cairn stones high and wide into any shape you like.
I mean, you can spend as much time as you want building these things, making them as high as you want, as weird as you want. I'm sure like a lot of these stuff will end up on the internet, like people comparing structures. And the cool thing is that once you've built it and you decide to get out of it, it sort of stays there. And so that's yours, right? And until the moment where you come back and you want to build a new one. It's sort of cool that we were able to give that to players to express themselves.
At this point in the demo, we've explored East Anglia, we've met some children, we've broken into a house.
This feels like a prank to see just how much
now it's finally time to go
players will eat up random shit tossed into games.
This is the moment it's all been building up to.
Nintendo's the master of it.
Into the
menial tasks that people then post on Twitter saying,
he's trying
genius what they did with this.
Get married with his Dane lady.
Yeah.
And so as you go through the arc, that's sort of like the underlying thread. Really, it's about
now the people will know we were here
in the territory and helping Oswald sort of get above that and show that he's a good leader. And so you finally,
I hope by now, DK, you've seen some of those a part of our heritage commercials.
Their wedding,
because they're still playing, right? Like they keep playing them.
And then all the activities and fun times that comes afterwards.
Yeah, as much as we've seen the brutal side of England, it's nice to see the joyous side of it as well.
I hope you've seen that one. I
Yeah,
wonder
and
if
it's
they've
something we
played
really
that one.
wanted to play on in Valhalla, where being a
Sorry,
Viking
Rico,
is
I'm
not
sharing.
only about being a raider or warrior.
God, I fucking hate
there's
I know,
revelry, there's
holy
feasting,
shit.
there's
There's time to
partying
get
that goes
killed
on. Like if someone
and
knows how to
quick.
party, it's a Viking. And so here, this is one of our opportunities to sort of show that, show what a sort of Viking gathering
Why
is.
is
And
this
Dude,
taking
go
so long?
faster,
it's a good
Jesus.
alliance
What the fuck is wrong with
Norse
you?
Yeah,
culture
come
with
on.
Saxon culture.
Are you gonna
sort of
chug or are you gonna
smashing
fucking
those
chug?
two things together, and building bridges.
Yeah, I mean, what's a wedding
Shit.
without some drunk archery, right?
Yeah, so like anything can happen in a Viking event, right? Eivor, yeah, here, just get drunk, shoot some arrows.
Ah, barely a challenge.
Steady all, and ready yourself for the wedding
This
race.
is fun
The king
mini
and his
games.
bride against all. My king.
Jeez, party
So
pooper.
here we see the decision I made to spare Ruid came back to
Party
bite us.
blood in the
Yep, that's the decision you
It's
made.
coming out and spraying
coming back.
everywhere.
So, as we said before, all of your decisions have consequences, and this is a big one.
He's gonna fight him. Oh, he's dead.
I challenge you. I accept.
Die.
You're basically presented with the option to sort of step in for
No!
Oswald, fight the fight for him, or let him go and fight his own fight.
Yeah, you know, personally, I chose to fight myself because I thought Eivor is the type of person who likes to finish what she started.
Plank by plank, and a dead king cannot keep his oaths. Let me finish this.
Oswald, you gutless Irish swine! I'll slay the wolf-kissed, then hang you with your own tongue.
You can't beat us.
How does this
We're the
encounter with
guy, yo.
Ruid differ from our previous fight with him?
So at this point, you've eliminated his wolf, so it's just him, and so he's angry at this point, and so he will start using
That's why they were saying
his big gun
she wanted to
abilities
finish
like
what
fairly
she had
earlier on in the fight. So it's way more vicious, way faster. There's less strategy. He goes literally swords blazing at you. And
He's
so
on
this
tilt,
is a fight
man.
to the death.
His sword is not literally blazing.
Sometimes.
And of course here, like, this is a decision you made to go and fight him, but there's multiple outcomes to this scenario. You could have
Get
let
out here,
Oswald
Oswald,
fight his
you
own
piece of
fight,
shit. Your
and
win.
prove basically his station as the rightful leader. If you had eliminated Rued, obviously this would not have happened. It would have been a slightly more joyous occasion. But ultimately, in all scenarios, you still have an alliance with Oswald. He's proven to be the right leader for this territory, and to be a good ally
Fast
for
Mike,
you.
you're dead.
Oh, my Mike's
promised
dead
you an
because of all
alliance.
that Overwatch.
Now you have it.
And one day I will need you to make good on that alliance.
Hold on, shut up, Oswald.
So we're about to take off from the wedding, but Eivor decides it's a good idea to check up on her friend Finner.
Yeah, so Finner is probably one of the more recurring characters in this arc. You get to meet him very early on. He's a very endearing character, sort of used to have a Viking life, sort of misses it, and going through all these adventures together is sort of like lights that fire back, and so he's willing to join you in your raiders. So he's one of many raiders that you'll encounter in the game, and you can sort of recruit, bring back home, and then have them sort of join you on your adventures on Longship. He can tell you these stories that we're telling you about. You get to know a little bit more about him. So again, it's a fun way to sort of discover more about these characters that you meet and bring them along for adventures.
Together, I'll gather my things.
Well, folks, we've come to the end of our Assassin's Creed Valhalla playthrough. Fizz, thank you so much for joining us. When and where can people play it?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be out on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, and is coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia on November 17th.
Watchdogs is coming in October, right? Did they say PS5 at the end of Watchdogs? Because that is exciting, right? Like,
No, I don't think they did.
They didn't say PS5.
No. You said it would be exciting if they did, and I don't think they did.
I
They
can't
did on the
imagine it comes out in October and they don't put it on PS5.
everybody,
maybe it
thanks for
won't
joining
launch.
us. My name is Eric Pope. I'm the Senior Community Developer on Hyperscape.
Thanks
And
for
I'm
dressing
Graham
up for the
Jennings.
occasion,
I'm the
guys.
senior producer
Damn,
on
they
Hyperscape.
said the
Hyperscape's now in its
date.
open.
Fuck, what was the date?
I don't know. November 17th. That's my birthday.
Holy shit!
I hope
Holy shit.
Ubisoft gives me one on my birthday.
Yeah? Why is Deacon on his shirt?
Alright, well, there was... boy, oh boy, do I miss stage presentations. I'll see what I can do, says DK.
Google says PS5, but it would be a free upgrade when the console comes out.
So if you buy a PS4 version of Watchdogs, when the PS5
kind
comes
of what I
out,
was
it will
thinking.
download the PS5 version based on your disc and or digital copy. I am interested in this Battle Royale that they're showing here. That's probably the most interesting to me because I am still totally in the market for a Battle Royale that isn't fucking Fortnite. Really, it shouldn't be hard, but nobody's made a good Battle Royale yet to me.
Not even Overwatch.
Yeah, no. And the Worms Battle Royale is coming. That's cool.
Right.
I liked the amount of blood in the Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
The thing,
What do you think of this gameplay? Like, does it look like something you'd be interested in?
Which looks like it helped him hold his ground against that mammoth.
And I believe it helped him survive at that point. And there seems to be a few other players in here
Yeah,
this
they're
match.
showing
The
a lot of
combat
PC
started and
style. Like,
elimination.
it doesn't. Yeah, this looks PC. It looks precision. It looks hyper twitchy. Yeah, I can pretty much already.
Oh no! So he's just been eliminated actually.
Yeah.
So he just he's been eliminated and he's turned into an echo now. So he's going to wait for his friends to bring him back. So he's going to go to one of these restore points, which are basically places where someone else from another squad's.
I'm not interested, pretty much.
The Far Cry 6 looks pretty.
The story looks cool,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be another Far Cry. That's the thing with Ubisoft.
They have such good personalities, man. Boss was fucking amazing.
The game was mediocre.
Yeah, he was such a good baddie, though. Because the actor's really good. They get good actors.
It's just that Ubisoft plays it so safe, and so the stories, like, you have to think about it like in the terms of, I'm really, when it comes down to it, I'm just in it for the stories. And like, when you compare like Rockstar to Ubisoft, Rockstar takes risks, they offend, they do weird things. Ubisoft rarely does anything but the safest route. It feels like network television versus HBO. And that's the thing that usually does, like, with the exception of Black Flag, I've barely ever liked an Ubisoft story in any game, sadly. You know, Black Flag was great, though. I liked the feel. Actually, you know what? Black Flag's story I didn't even like. I just liked the feeling it evoked. It had an atmosphere and a feeling that felt great, and that was probably owed a little bit to playing it off show.
Right.
But yeah, Rockstar's hard to beat story-wise. It's just because Rockstar's willing to offend, really, when it comes down to it. Just like HBO. HBO doesn't care if it makes shit that really upsets people and feels really, you know, gritty and bad sometimes. Whereas I feel like Ubisoft always is kind of like just trying to please everybody. And that's the difference between the type of content I like. I want to be outraged every so often, you know. Maybe that speaks to me. I should like what's going on in Last of Us 2 right now. Anyways. But I'll give it a little chance.
Yeah.
It's just that they're on a short leash.
Yeah, South Park.
I do like South Park. That's Ubisoft. It's true.
Yep.
And I do want to return to that game.
I know, I was kind of scared that they were gonna, like, announce something else South Park. Because I was like, we haven't
I want to finish that.
Finished it.
I'll probably play it on my own. It looks very involved. It looks
Yeah.
That's part of the reason we didn't go back to it is because it looked so much more intense than the first one.
Yeah.
In terms of strategy and actual RPG gameplay. Anyways. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Thank you to DK for being here to give an extra perspective and insight on what you've no doubt been working very hard on, DK. Sorry that I am a curmudgeon. I love Ubisoft. I love the people who work there, and I love everything that they, like, you know, I love the company. It pains me that I'm not a bigger fan of their properties. But they can every so often win me. It's just an uphill battle. I'll play Valhalla on show for sure. At least give it a shot. I'll give it a show. Yeah.
A fresh birthday show?
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. We're out of here. Goodbye from Tokyo. Bye-bye.